Veterans risk their lives to ensure our freedoms, and we're grateful for our soldiers who put the country's needs before their own. But these brave men and women are in serious danger when it comes to harmful long-term exposure. Thanks for joining us. This year, Congress passed the Honoring Our PACT Act, seeking to provide health care and benefits for veterans exposed to toxins. That was back in March. So far, the Senate has not approved the measure. Right now, Brittany Moncrief talks more about those fighting to get this bill passed. Brittany?
That's right, Richard. 2.5 million veterans. That's how many would be affected by the Honoring Our PACT Act, a number many believe you just can't overlook. There was no other way.
There was no sanitation services. There was no trash pickup. Everything was burned.
Jason Liederfine is a U.S. Army veteran, having served in both Iraq and Afghanistan.
The burn pit was 20 feet from my room. All of our sensitive items that we had to get rid of, paperwork, everything was burned, to include feces. We really didn't have anything but toilets that were made by the unit with a big barrel full of diesel fuel. I had to take a stick and stir it around so that it would all get burned up. The fumes are going in your face.
Breathing in black smoke with all kinds of toxins.
Up to 30% of my lung capacity I lost because of breathing in that stuff.
Jason is one of millions of veterans exposed to toxins during active duty. He, like many others, are fighting to get the Honoring Our PACT Act passed, providing health care and benefits to veterans affected by toxic exposure. Patrick Murray is the VFW's Director of National Legislative Service.
We learned the hard way what happened to our Vietnam generation. We're saying we don't want to repeat the same mistakes with the post 9/11 generation.
The bill already passed in the House, but still has to go forth in the Senate. If passed, it would establish a registry for exposed veterans and a formal advisory committee on toxic exposure.
Make sure that VA is given more resources, more personnel to actually review claims, also IT money to automate some of their systems.
The support would come in phases based on illness and by operation or wars.
Senator from Tennessee asked if by passing the PACT Act, we would be breaking the promise to our nation's veterans. To that, we say that we've already broken the promise to our nation's veterans. The PACT Act is fulfilling the promise to our nation's veterans. Some folks in Congress are concerned about the cost. Our response is this is a cost of war.
A cost that for many of our heroes has come at a permanent price.
I don't know what it's going to do to me in the long run. Is it going to shorten my life? Am I going to have cancer? I don't know. And I think that's why this act is really important to get passed.
Give a little perspective. Right now, we're taking a look at 3 major wars and breaking down the different toxins that can cause long-term health concerns for soldiers who fought and those who continue to fight for our flag. Veterans who fought in World War II were exposed to a variety of chemicals. Between 1939 to 1945, vets endured noise, loud and harmful sounds from bombs, guns, and a variety of machinery. There's ionizing radiation. During this time in Japan, nuclear weapon tests were underway. We can't forget mustard gas and cold injuries, but for those not necessarily in the field, they dealt with occupational hazards that involve paint, machinery, and more. Now, during the Vietnam War between 65 and 75, vets had to encounter different toxins. They still had occupational and noise hazards, but in addition to that, herbicides used to destroy foliage and crops, hepatitis C, liver fluke infection. This is what researchers are looking into as a possible but unproven link between veterans who ate raw fish and a rare cancer. And now the latest war, Operation Enduring Freedom, exposures in Afghanistan. The list gets more extensive. The chemical exposures have drastically increased, and soldiers deal with dust, which can cause breathing issues, infectious diseases, toxic embedded fragments, and that's when metal objects can't be removed from the body, traumatic brain injuries, malaria, cold injuries, burn pits, uranium used in military tank armor and some bullets, rabies, and heat injuries. And so, as you can see, Richard, the types of toxins our soldiers are exposed to have grown exponentially.
Yeah, and it looks like our soldiers have more risk now than they did back in the earlier war days, but it's clear that all soldiers are at risk of something, and we need to remember that. Brittany, thank you so much for that report.